Deep in the ocean, an orca pod is on the hunt. But these aren't your average orcas. These guys are organized.
Marketing team, did you get those social media posts scheduled for the SEAL migration?
Aye, Captain. We even have an automated notification for all pod managers when they go live.
They use Monday.com to keep their teamwork sharp, their communication clear, and their goals in sight. Monday.com. For whatever you run, even orcas. Go to Monday.com to dive deeper.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kill Me Now. I'm Judy Gold. I'm your host. Yeah, I'm the host. I'm not the hostess. I hate the fucking word hostess. I hate comedian. I hate hostess. Anyway, I hate the word chick, too. Today's guest, I'm very excited. He's young and hip. He's tatted. Very tatted. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Fidance! Woo!
Yay! Hi, everybody.
Ian, I have to say, you have total Jew face.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you get your DNA done?
I did.
And?
Yeah. A little bit of Ashkenazi.
How much?
Like 20%.
Wow.
Yeah, like
did you know that?
No, I mean, I have a mirror. And everyone
I know.
in
and
my
everyone,
life
yeah.
is like, are you sure?
But you got those genes.
Yeah.
Wait, so did your mother know, like, who's Jewish in the family?
No.
You had no idea you had Jew.
No, I was raised Catholic.
So do you feel differently now?
I mean, I feel like I'm like, I've always had Jewish traits.
Right.
Of, like stomach aches, anxiety.
Right.
Overbearing mother.
Right.
Is
it from your mother's side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she had no idea?
No. Italian, Irish, and
Jew.
I guess, yeah.
Wait,
and I guess like European.
Wait, or you have any grandparents alive?
No, they're all dead.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so I
then.
can't ask.
Yeah,
ask them,
like who had an affair
yeah.
with the owner of the company they worked for? Good night, folks. Ian,
staff. Yes.
You are, first of all, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Since 2011.
Oh my God, you're such a fucking baby.
I'm a little puppy.
8 years? That's it?
Yeah. Yeah. 8 years in February.
I'm going to say you're the least amount of years as a working comic. This sentence is so bad, and I know you were an English teacher, so I just want to kill myself right now. But yeah, you've been doing it the least amount, I think, of all my guests.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you're fucking lucky.
Yeah,
all right. Anyway,
thank you. I appreciate that.
Ian.
Yes.
Before we begin, though, why can't I get on Nikki Glazer's fucking show? Like, I don't fucking get
it. I don't know. Come on, do it. Come with me. We'll sneak you in.
Are you on every day?
No, I'm on once a week. Once or twice a week.
Okay.
Once a week.
And what is the show? Is it just comics sitting around? And
no, she's a bunch of different people come in. And
you're there the whole time?
Kevin Nealon was on like 2 weeks ago. He was in town promoting his Caroline shows. This guy from The Bachelor. Bachelorette.
But did they stay the whole time or just partially?
No, some people are in like half hour. Some people stay whole show. Judah came in a couple weeks ago. He was on the whole show.
Right. He's only half.
And
how long is the show?
2 hours. 10 a.m. to.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. She's got like the best gig in the world.
I know. And I am the queen.
Yes.
And I want to be on the fucking show.
Come on the show.
Who books the fucking show?
When you see Nikki, talk to her. She'll bring you on. Have you talked to her?
I asked her to do the podcast. She said she was busy.
She's the busiest person in the fucking
Whatever.
world.
I am. I have kids. Okay?
Her career is her kid, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Don't minimize women.
Let me tell you something. That career is not going to visit you in the fucking, chemo ward. Okay.
You are telling me. I am really having this. This is, I mean, life is hitting me in the face right now. You know, where
you got to have a balanced life to be a good comic.
I was thinking of that on the way in the elevator because I just started riding my bike again.
Right.
And I've been really struggling with like, I don't have any hobbies. I don't have a life outside of comedy.
Oh, no, you
so I'm
have
like
to.
trying to find like other things. And I'm like, well, idiot, your bike.
Right.
Get into bike culture and study
and
how
also
to fix bikes or like do that.
But also join go on a biking tour somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, they have those really good biking tours. Oh, can you help me buy a new bike? I hate my bike.
Yeah. What do you have?
I have a Jameis.
Well, what kind of riding do you do?
I bike everywhere. Like I'll bike to all my appointments.
Also, this has been bothering me. Can we go back? I like using the word chick. Is that bad?
It's always bothered me, the word chick.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I use like chick, dude.
Okay, man. But do you think chick and dude are equal?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I always think dude is better than chick.
Really?
I don't know. Chick is so... Really?
Yeah. I don't know if I like lady. Like
lady.
Yeah, I went to a movie with my lady.
Yeah, I'll
use gal.
Gal's good. Lady, you know, like when I go to a restaurant or something, they're like, "Come on, ladies," and I'm like, "I'm not really a lady."
Well, I feel like chick is like you're riding a Harley and you got your chick.
Right.
In the back
I don't know. It's chick is. I don't even know. I hate girl. Girl is so. I like guy.
See, I use
gal
dude
is
for
weird.
Everything. Gal is weird. Yeah, I'm kind of weird with what I say. Anyway, you.
All right, so I need a new bike.
Yes,
because I ride around the city. I don't like the skinny wheels because there's potholes and shit.
It's terrible.
I need something really big frame. And I want it to be light. My bike is so heavy. Okay, that's.
What do you have? Multiple speed?
Yeah,
I like a single speed.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Single speeds usually have thicker tires. I don't really like mountain bikes in the city with all the gears.
Right.
Geared biking is good for when you're going like uphill or like over a bridge, but really once you get used to the single speed and like pumping your legs.
Burping? You're like, what's with...
I'm Robert Durst. I'm about to admit to a murder.
Yeah.
I killed them all.
Yeah.
I like a single speed. Your legs kind of get used to it. It's a good workout. You trick your body into thinking you work out. If you have multiple speeds, you can go on a high gear and you're not really working out that much.
Yes, I know. Do they have brakes on the handlebars or the one where you? All right.
I've done singles or fixed gear and it fucked my knee up. And it's kind of scary, but I like being scared. So
that's great. I'm 56. Anyway, so let's start at the very beginning.
Let's do it.
You grew up in Wilmington, Delaware.
I did.
And there's a lot of Jews there. And a single mother.
Yeah.
What happened with the father's situation?
He passed when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
8.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Do you think that defined your life?
Unknowingly, yeah.
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 And may I ask how he...
It was an accident.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Like what, car?
No. Train.
Why are you so cryptic?
I don't know.
Did he throw himself in front of the train?
No. He died in a work-related accident.
Wow, that's... All right, so I had Tom Cotter on.
Uh-huh.
And his father died too when he was young. And, I could tell the effect. I mean, I'm fascinated with kids who have to go through that such heavy grieving at such a young age and how, your life, because you're so innocent and your life just like in 1 second changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was my best friend.
Yeah.
We used to do a guys' weekend at the beach where we would go to the beach together and, with each other all the time. He every day before he left for work, he'd write like a letter. Oh. So I have these stacks of letters from him.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I was born 27 days premature. I was in the hospital for a month. It's like an incubator jaundice.
Right.
I didn't think I'd live or anything. Right. So when I was in the hospital, he wrote me a letter when I was in the hospital, and then that kind of stopped. Then he just started doing it again. I guess when I was maybe 6 or 7.
Wow.
And he was a really, really, righteous dude.
Decent
and
guy.
yeah, everyone loved him. And,
how old was he?
He had just turned 37.
Are you 37 yet?
I'm 34.
Oh,
and that's been creeping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, his birthday was 10 days before he died.
Oh my God, this is awful.
Yeah.
So you're living in Wilmington. You have a mom and a dad, and everything's normal.
Yeah.
What did they? Yeah. So what did your father do?
My house was like
the Kool-Aid house,
where like we'd come and play football at the house and everything, and we'd all hang out. And he'd come home from work and be like, all-time quarterback, for like the kids and everything. Snow days, always video. We had like a video camera from before I was born. When I was born, and so we have tons of tapes, everything, which have been
that's so good.
Very cathartic, but also kind of really tough to watch and. I was just home and my mom and I were going through like old pictures, everything, which is like really nice. And I look just like them.
Wow.
Which can be kind of tough. But and that all stopped.
Right. So like you're 8 years old.
So it's like you have this these relationships with people and everything is like perfect, and then it just massively shifts and people don't know how to deal with you or, your mom, or people stop showing up, people, because nobody knows how to grieve or deal with the grieving,
know that. I know.
And even to this day, I have a really tough time dealing with people grieving because I know how it's weird to have people show up and then like you want to be consistent, but then they leave and then, and I think one of the toughest things is to go, if you need anything, reach out because for the grieving, it's very tough to reach out.
Right.
So I feel like it's on you to check in on them. But then it's like, it's really nobody's job.
Right.
But,
But it's common courtesy or just emotional intelligence. But they just wrote an article about that, like the worst things you can say to someone who just lost, parent, a child, or, and one of them is, if you need anything, call me. And a lot of, I know how you feel. No, you don't.
Yeah. Well, I was 8, Catholic. So every adult was like, well, he's with you now. Oh God, he's always watching you.
I can't deal with that shit.
Are you kidding me?
It's such bullshit.
Always watching me. I'm about to figure out my body.
Right.
And like a couple weeks before that, I had stumbled on like the Spice Channel, and I was like over the top Catholic. So I was like, well, I'm being punished. Yeah. This is God punishing me.
Yeah, of course. That goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're 8. What did your mother work?
Yeah.
What'd she do?
She was a teacher assistant.
And your father?
He worked for a train company.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, and everything's perfect. You're in Catholic school or no?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
well, you should call them and tell them
everything's perfect.
Right.
But there were obviously arguments and things like that. But
did you ever call them and let them know you're 1/5 Ashkenazi Jew?
Yeah. In hindsight, they took back my graduation.
Did?
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 years. Do you remember how you found out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What were you doing?
Well, the day before my aunt had died, so we were all
your father's sister.
My father's aunt, so my great aunt, but we all called her Aunt Sis.
Okay,
and we had just gotten close with kind of this part of his family.
Right.
My dad's dad was a really bad alcoholic, and I wasn't allowed to meet him until later in life.
Okay.
Until he got his act together.
Right.
But then we kind of found out his health was on the outs.
Right.
And it was like, well, come meet your grandfather.
Right.
And he was so like beat up by alcohol abuse and time.
Right.
I sat on his lap and I go, Pop, are you a robber? He was just this old dude missing his teeth. He was like 53.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we just got kind of close with that side of the family. So we were like, hanging out with them and seeing them a lot. So when this happened, we were all at their house and everything. And the night before, we're kind of, laughing about death.
Right.
And, my dad's making comments. He was kind of like the stern rule maker. My mom was like, Dad said you have to be in bed at 8, but I'm going to let you stay.
Oh my God, that's so me. That's so me.
Oh, completely. And I remember hearing an argument about whether or not we should have Nickelodeon. And
no way.
Yeah. Okay. Just stuff like that.
Right.
And so my dad was like, man, boy, you better hope I go before your mom because you're going to be in for a whole world change, And so that was like on her mind and everything. And then the next day he got up for work and I woke up and I begged him not to go to work.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, nothing's going to happen. It's totally fine. He was upset. He had cyst died. Went back to sleep. He kissed him goodbye. And then I had a dream that he died. And I woke up. I specifically remember going, God would never let this happen. God wouldn't do this to my family.
Right.
And that morning he kept calling the house just to tell us he loved us and everything. And then, how I found out was my mom got a call at work. And I guess she verbally reacted out loud. So I was in the hallway going to the bathroom, and this girl from her class came up and goes, "Are you Ian?" I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Your dad got hurt at work and your mom had to leave and go see him." And I immediately like flipped out.
Oh my God. Fuck that girl.
Yeah. And
do you remember her name?
No.
Okay, go.
I think her name was Paige.
Good job, Paige.
Yeah, right. Fuck you, Paige.
Fucking bitch. All right.
But yeah.
And you broke down, and then did they tell you?
And then I went back to class, and then there was an announcement,
Ian, come to
the office.
Yeah.
And I remember posturing. I remember like putting my jacket on and being like, I get to leave school,
right.
Like cheering,
woo, yeah.
Like I totally fucking knew, you know what I mean? And then just a thing of silent car ride home.
Right. Your mom picked you up.
Oh yeah. Just like knowing.
Crying.
No.
Wow.
Stoic.
That's not good. Now that you think back, that the holding in of the feelings and.
Well, when we got home, it was just, insanity.
Right.
And it's just
it's a vivid memory.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I remember clothing, everything, time.
Wow.
And it's this weird thing where when you, as a kid, you don't understand anything. So when you see that you're getting upset and then adults around you get upset.
Right.
You then feel responsible for
their
sadness.
Yeah.
So then you try not to be sad because, if I'm sad, everyone's sad.
Right.
So then you don't get sad. And then you're fine and everything's fine and things are good. Everything's great.
Right.
Back at school next week.
Right.
Things are normal,
Yeah,
normal life. Everything is completely normal. Everything, we're a fine family.
Right.
Things are good.
But you're intelligent enough. I think that you're smart, and that's why you know that. But I don't think a lot of people are that self-aware, especially at that age. But you were forced into it.
Right. Well, I think it's like a latent defense mechanism.
Right.
I don't think I could verbally recognize that and be like, well, the reason why I'm acting like nothing is wrong is because I don't want to upset other people.
Right. Right.
You just kind of internalize that, and that's just your actions that you take.
Right.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with a Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
How drastically did your life change? Your mother, you have a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned people were different.
Yeah.
Like, did you lose friends?
Well, yeah. And it's also like,
and it's all about them. That's what I fucking hate.
Well, it's strange because truly no one knows how to deal with a catastrophic loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so our natural instinct is to go, I am so sorry.
Right.
And then the onus is on you to then comfort them and go, no, it's okay.
Right. It's not okay. Yeah.
And, or do that or go, and just lose yourself and then have the person be like, okay, I'm going to leave, but it's like you had, that's why I feel like Shiva is just such a wonderful thing.
Isn't it the best?
Allow yourself to grieve.
Right. And people come to you.
I remember specifically, everyone was sitting everyone was sitting in our living room and we're just sitting there in silence and no one's saying anything. And then, you just get up and leave the room.
Right.
and then that's it. And then someone comes in and you start crying again, but no one is like
verbalizing.
Yeah. And you're not like screaming. I don't know. And then like, maybe it's this Catholic thing of like, I just remember at one point screaming, and I had an uncle being like, you got to stop screaming. Stop. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. I mean, like, after his viewing, driving, and my uncle being like, I'm going to pull the car over.
Right.
You got to shut up. And like, maybe that was his way of being like, I can't deal with this. So
no,
this
that's
is
bad,
something that
uncling.
I don't.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But also that whole viewing thing, I think is, Jews don't do that.
I mean,
because we're supposed to remember them
as they were
when they were alive. And it is a process. It's a grieving process, and that's how it's mapped out in the.
Well, I feel like in order to get over it, you have to completely paralyze yourself with grief
and let yourself grieve,
scream till you don't have a voice, and punch and kick and tell people you're not okay, and say I need help and I don't even know what that help is, and in a way, you have to make people uncomfortable around you, I think, and to just mask it and be like, no, I've moved on. Everything is golden from here on out.
Right. Because it's all about making them feel comfortable.
Right. But also, I think that is just what maybe we're conditioned to do, or to feel as if you have to jump right back into the world. Right. And, it's just it's a strange thing. Yeah. And even to this day, I don't know how to deal with comforting others.
I feel like I'm actually good at it. And I think it's because of the AIDS crisis. Like, I think I had, I was dealing with something at such a young age.
What
that I didn't.
Can you be more concrete?
Well, I just feel like, I would, when the AIDS crisis first started out, I guess I was a senior in college, and then I was in my, 20s, but I was watching my friends get sick, die. And it was like, oh my God, like, I should be out like having fun. And I mean, I was doing stand up too, but I'm just saying, it shouldn't be that my fucking 25-year-old friends are dying. Like it was, and we had to face it, I think, head on. And I don't feel uncomfortable. I mean, of course, my biggest fear is losing a child. My mother lost her brother when she was 17. That permeated over our family. Like if I was 5 minutes late, where are you?
Yes. That whole thing of like, I mean, even to this day, my mom doesn't pick up the phone, and I'm like, she's dead.
Same.
She's dead.
Same. Yeah.
She's dead.
Well, she is dead, my mother.
Well,
so,
right.
But yeah, no, I know. So,
it totally does.
Yeah. It affects you like all. They talk about the overbearing Jewish mother. It's like if you were kicked out of every fucking country, you'd be overbearing too, But anyway, so you then go back to school and you live your life completely differently from this point on. Did your mother date?
Eventually,
Right. But she was really focused on you.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Do you love her so much?
I do, yeah.
Can you tell my kids to love them? Yeah, go ahead.
My mom's such a hardcore motherfucker. She ended up, because our, the insurance was like fucked.
Right.
And she ended up just courthouse marrying a guy that worked for the state so that we could get our prescriptions at a lower price.
Wow.
Because, how expensive things were.
Right.
Was, it can drive you to the poorhouse.
Right.
So she totally like took one for the team to get us to have adequate medical coverage.
No way. Yeah. Was she in love with him or?
I mean, I think there were feelings and,
but not
I definitely, I mean, again, like it was such a crazy thing of I didn't handle it well.
How old were you?
I was a real shitty kid.
Yeah. How old?
I felt like my mom was still married to my dad.
Right,
she was like betraying him.
Do you have any siblings?
No, I'm an only child.
Oh, God. Wait, so this guy comes into how old are you when the guy comes into your house?
Man, I was maybe like 12.
Wow.
11 or 12.
Of course that would, first of all, you're going through an
she would
adolescence.
go on other dates, and I watched Goodfellas, and I wanted to be like an Italian mobster. So some guy shows up at the door, and I'm, with braces and wearing a wife beater and a bat. And I'm like, if you hurt my mom, I'll break your legs.
Oh,
he's
that's
like, well,
funny.
I'm never coming back again.
Right. So
Poor
this
Al.
guy, how long?
Al, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Al. How long is your mother still married to him?
No.
How long did that last?
They were off and on for a while, and it was like a weird thing where he didn't even he lived in a separate place,
right?
And I
think he had another family.
No. He was like a solid dude, but he, I really, now that I'm older, I massively respect any step parent that comes into a family and does a good job.
Yeah, like Elisa. Okay, Elisa.
Who's Elisa?
My girlfriend.
Oh.
She's the kid's stepmom.
Oh, it's such a incredibly hard thing to do that I couldn't
and to navigate
appreciate as a younger person.
Right.
And I certainly didn't make the situation any easier, and it just what
you were an asshole, but you should have been. So in high school, were you popular?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Sports?
I was in a band.
Oh, you're so cool.
Yeah.
What'd you play?
I played guitar. I was in a ska band.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you were like hip and cool, and
I mean, it was like a small area, so the fun thing to do was to go and see music, and my band played enough that was the fun thing that came up to do, and I would go out to other shows and see live music and everything, and because otherwise it's Delaware.
Yeah.
What do? You hang out in the Wendy's parking lot and get into trouble.
Oh, please.
So
I hung out at Quick Check.
That was that was like the thing to do, and so it was Wawa.
I love Wawa.
God, yes, I have one walking distance from my mom's house.
That's so. My mother always bought milk there. She said they had the best milk. But they had good sandwiches too.
They had good coffee too.
Yeah.
I like Wawa. I have an aunt that swears by Wawa coffee.
Yeah, I like Wawa.
Yeah.
So you graduate, but were you a decent student?
I had to work really hard.
You did?
Yeah.
How about your SATs?
Really,
did you have
really
someone
hard.
take your SATs for you, like Felicity Huffman?
Yes, I had someone Photoshop my face onto a fencer.
Oh, that's
a collegiate
great.
fencer. So.
Wait, so did you? I mean, you went to NYU, so you did well.
I mean, yeah, I did well enough. I had to, in order to do well, I had to spend my lunches with other teachers, going over notes, spending hours on homework at night, getting other kids to tutor me and everything.
Okay, well, that's not the Ashkenazi Jewish part of you. That's the other. That's the other 80%.
Yeah.
And the desire to do well is the 20%.
Yes.
So you graduate and you get in. Were you shocked you got into NYU? Were you
absolutely?
Yeah,
absolutely shocked. I had lower SAT scores.
Yeah, me too. I can't take a test. I can't take I had great grades, and I cannot take a multiple choice test because I sit there for 3 hours going, well, there's some truth in this.
Right.
This could be true if.
Well, years later, I ended up teaching test taking skills.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's all a crapshoot. I mean, it's a way of thinking.
Yeah.
And some people just don't have that.
It's really, really tough. And to quantify someone's intelligence based on that.
On that fucking test.
To put them in a trajectory in their life based on how they do on a specific test.
Right. It's fucking ridiculous.
Insane. And then people put so much pressure on it.
Really?
They let it define them.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, it used to be 1,600. Now I think it's like 2,400. So I don't even know.
No, it went back to 1,600.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Judy Gold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Judy Gold. You're welcome.
When you were a kid, you went to urologist with your mother.
Yeah.
And
where are you finding this information from? Where are you getting this from?
I love this story. So you went to why did you have to go to a urologist at a young age? With your balls or your peeing or?
Yeah, when I was in 6th grade, I had a testicular torsion.
What's that?
It's when a
ball.
When a tissue from the scrotum wraps around the testicle.
Oh, okay.
And it can kill the testicle. So
how'd you know you had that?
I just had massive pain. And I didn't know what it was. And I went to the doctor and they were like, you need emergency surgery.
No way.
Yeah.
And so you went in and you're 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor says, do you have any sexual partners?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the doctor asked me if I was sexually active.
And your mother was there because
I was a minor.
Yeah.
And I said yes. And he said, with how many? And I said, just myself.
What'd your mother do?
She had to leave the room. She was laughing so hard.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I had a hernia when I was 9, which I think I was born with, and I started playing the clarinet, and then it came out. And I remember...
Wait, what does the clarinet have to do with it? Oh, because you're breathing. Right, yeah.
And so I would run outside, like when you're a kid and before fucking video games, we would run out, we would ride our bikes and make up games and, just play and negotiate and learn how to fucking deal with other people,
I wonder if that's why we enjoy riding the bike so much. It brings us back to that childlike wonderment of being with a friend in the neighborhood. And
being free.
Yes.
I felt like I was free. And, I started riding it because I have a house in Provincetown and I ride my bike there that's how I get around. And I was like, why don't I do this at home? And I just ride my bike everywhere. All right.
Sorry.
I know. I do feel
Yeah.
So, I was running around and I'd come home, I'd go to get in the bathtub, and one of my labia, would always be poofed out. So one day I go, Mommy, every time I, come home, she's like, oh my God, Judith, we have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And I had this hernia but I was in the hospital for a week, now they just do it. It's outpatient. But yeah. I had a fucking hernia.
I know. I had to show my mom. It was sexuality was such a weird thing, with my mom, because it's, usually you have a dad having this thing. But it's funny, you mentioned AIDS. That's how I had the sex talk, because Magic Johnson got AIDS.
Right.
And that was my introduction to the sex talk about everything.
That's what my son told me yesterday, that we were on a podcast together, my older son, and he said, I said, they were asking about the talk, and I definitely didn't give them a talk.
Right. Yeah, my mom gave me a book.
Yeah.
Called, What's Happening to My Body.
My parents told me nothing. Anyway, he said he learned about AIDS in 7th grade or something, or 6th grade, and then he came home. He said to his other mom, how do you get AIDS? And because they wouldn't say the other way, and
right,
you know, and that got it. All right. Anyway, okay, so you get to NYU, and wait, I have to read this to you.
What?
That ready?
Yeah.
Hold on, you goddamn son of a bitch.
Uh-huh.
Here it's coming, you fucking asshole.
Here it comes. Let me hear it.
So, you moved into NYU.
Yes.
And you knocked on this woman's door.
Yes.
Well, girl, Laura. And she opened the door. She told me this. And you were completely naked with your Jufro raging and your dick tucked between your legs. And you said, hello, my name is Ian and this is my mangina.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
That was my party trick.
And you'd walk around with the... That's how they do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to duct tape it. I feel bad for the, you know, the female impersonators. But, but wow. So just fearless.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't drink.
Right.
So
how come
I would have to have fun.
You didn't drink, and I just talked to you, and you don't smoke pot. Why don't you drink? Well, I drank in like 8th and 9th grade. Right.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I off the bat, it was like, I mean, just a fool.
Right.
You know, like I got drunk and these college guys tried to get me to like eat kitty litter.
No.
You know, and like.
Yeah, you can't. That's too young.
I got so fucking hammered.
Yeah.
I mean, New Year's Eve, when I was in like 8th grade, I drank and then went to my mom's house and like tried to fight my stepdad. You know,
no
like
way.
in 8th grade. Yeah.
And they knew you were drunk?
Oh, I fell out of the truck.
Oh, that's
when we got
hilarious.
To my mom's house.
That's
you know,
great.
It was so embarrassing.
It's great that you're driving around with high school kids and, you know, in a truck.
No. My mom picked me up in the truck. And I was drunk and I passed out.
That's
and then,
great.
you know, at another
Did you get
party.
in trouble?
I got in so much trouble.
All right.
Oh, my God. And I just could never handle alcohol.
Right.
And then years later, I started drinking. And from the jump, it was fucking terrible. Yeah.
What about any molestation from priests or anything like that? Or
I was just home with my mom, and she goes, and I'm trying to write a joke about it, how I'm getting to that age where my mom's looking at me going, you know, Ian, were you molested?
Right.
Because I really don't want to be the reason why you are you.
Right.
And so my mom was like, you know, I was wondering, were you ever touched? And I was like, you know, let me think back to all the men you put me in contact with to have a father figure.
Right.
You know.
Anyone?
The minor league baseball player that lived with us, the hot dog man that used to visit the house, the different priests that you would make me spend time with. I don't know. I don't think so. You know,
yeah, I think you'd know.
But yeah, I think I definitely know. You know.
Wow.
But there's like blotched memories from, you know, hanging out with these people and like weird feelings.
Right.
But I don't think it was anything that, you know, there was no leaving Neverland.
Right.
You know.
You studied, you got a BS in English?
Yeah. English education.
And why did you pick teaching? Because your mother was a teacher? Or?
No. I mean, I really liked an English teacher I had in high school.
Oh, right.
And he was, you know, the cross country coach, and
was he married?
He was, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just really related to him, and also I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Right. You know, and they just make you choose at 18.
I know, it's so fucking ridiculous.
And you have no fucking clue.
So you graduate.
Yeah.
And you end up I know you taught in the South Bronx, you taught in the East Village, you taught in Bed-Stuy. I mean, you taught in
Lower East Side, South Bronx, Bed-Stuy, Brownsville.
But did you go right from college into teaching?
No, I student taught at different schools, and then
which schools? You know, my sons went to Beacon.
Okay, at a school in the Upper East Side. And then I student taught at a school. No, Robert F. Wagner.
Oh yeah, Wagner. Yeah.
And
they
then,
played basketball.
At Essex Street Academy, which is no longer a school, at Old Seward Park High.
Right.
And that was like a real progressive school. It was a charter school where they had like 4 schools in one building, and all the kids call you by your first name.
Right.
And I really loved that school, and I was a full-time sub there afterwards, and I kind of squandered that opportunity because, you know, I was drinking like really heavily, and I just couldn't show up for anything or anyone. And
wait, so you're drinking, and how did you stop drinking? Did you go to meetings or
years later? I did, yeah.
Wow.
And, it's funny. I was teaching. I was student teaching at the school, and then I was a full-time sub there, and I also worked at the restaurant across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go in and teach, and then change my clothes and go across the street to this restaurant.
What restaurant?
Until it was called Casanese. It's like a French bistro restaurant.
Yeah,
it no longer exists.
And you would wait tables?
Yeah, and my students would come out and see me, and they'd be like, "Yo, Ian, get me a beer," because I'm like,
funny.
20, 21,
right,
and these kids are 18, 19,
right,
you know, and so they're inviting me to like parties in Yonkers and everything, and I'm like, Mark, I can't hear this. He's like, sorry, I'm late, I'm hungover. I'm like, I can't hear this, you know. One time I saw my students on the street from like far away, and I'm like, one night, late at night, I'm walking, I see like all these, nefarious characters, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get, I've been like robbed before, so I got my spidey sense, like these fucking guys, and then 15 feet away, here, Mr. Fidance? And I go, Nick Rodriguez?
Oh, that's
and he's
hilarious.
like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing?
I love it.
Yeah, we just like parted ways, Yeah.
You did a bunch of odd jobs though.
Yeah.
Like
Odd Job King.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. I was a carpenter. I
Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And teacher. And had long hair. And abs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was a carpenter. I was a door-to-door construction salesman. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In the town I grew up in.
Oh, that's
where
horrible.
everyone's like killing it. And at the time I'm living in a halfway house.
Right.
And I would see like kids I went to school as parents. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in med school. This is just volunteer work.
Wait, so you were in a halfway house?
Yeah.
That's
in the town I grew up in.
How come?
Directly across the street from where I had my 18th birthday party.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait, so you was it drugs or alcohol?
Alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could see, needing to push down feelings and
completely. Yeah.
Don't forget to tune in next week to Just Kill Me Now.
It's Just Kill Me.
Don't forget to turn for part 2 on Just Kill Me.
No, it's not. It's
Just Kill Me.
No.
Judy Gold's Just Kill Me.
Just.
Just Kill Me Now.